Editing can be a real pain in the... So what if you could make it easier? In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the best and simplest techniques for editing your voiceover in Reaper. Techniques that have got my editing process down to the absolute minimum. But then again, do you even need to edit at all? First things first, for the purposes of this video, I'm using the free evaluation version of Reaper running from a USB drive. So everything is default unless you see me change something or if it's been changed in a previous video. Preparation. So how important is preparation? The short answer is very. The long answer is, let me quickly show you a couple of features that I've got set up in Reaper that have really made a difference to my editing workflow. And no, you don't have to set this up every time. These are global settings that will always be there once they're set up. Spectrogram. To reveal the spectrogram, just go to Options, Peaks Display Mode, and select Normal Peaks plus Spectrogram. Then you'll see this beautiful psychedelic display of yellow and purpleness below your standard waveform. So what does it do? Well, it basically displays frequencies by colour. At the bottom, you have the lowest frequencies, and at the top, you have the highest frequencies. This allows you to see, and more importantly, to edit individual frequencies within your audio. But more about how to do that in a moment. Shortcuts. Do you need to know all the keyboard shortcuts in Reaper? Well, no one knows all of them, except Kenny Joyer. Kenny Joyer knows all of them. But if you want to have the list of default keyboard shortcuts at hand, I'll put a link in the description so you can download it. And you can learn how to edit and customize your keyboard shortcuts in this video right here. But probably the most useful keyboard shortcut is S for split. This splits any item at the playhead. The playhead is this green line here. Toolbar. It is worth taking a moment to familiarize yourself with the toolbar in the top left corner. This is how it looks by default, and there are quite a few icons, but for now you'll only need to worry about 3 of them. The magnet icon for snapping, the grid icon for ripple editing, and the razor icon for razor editing. Fun fact, that razor icon is not a razor blade. That, my friend, is a Stanley knife blade, and I know, because I've got one. Anyway, enough, let's edit. Editing. All I'm going to do is run through my editing process on this corporate voiceover I've just recorded, and I'll explain it as I go. Okay? Now remember, this is how I edit my audio. You don't have to do it like this. You do you. So what to do first? Let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. Let's trim the empty space on the left here. Hover over the end of the item and you can see that the cursor changes to this little icon with arrows. Click on that and drag it to where the audio begins. I forgot about that. Snap to grid is on by default and you don't want that for voiceover. You need to be able to move around freely. But you want to keep snap to items on. So go up to the toolbar and right-click the magnet icon to open up the Snap Grid Settings menu and uncheck all the Snap to Grid boxes. Close that, and now you have nice smooth movement when you move things around, but items will still snap to each other. And you can zoom in using your mouse wheel so you can be a little more accurate. And let's have a listen through and see what needs editing. Manufacturing, power plants and industry in the Czech Republic and abroad use intelligent control systems designed by engineers from innovative companies from the Pilsen region. So that plosive P sound at the beginning of the word Pilsen is a bit extreme, isn't it? Let's zoom in with the mouse wheel to have a proper look. Pilsen region. Yeah, it's a bit boomy in the low end, so what can you do about it? Well, you need to reduce those low frequencies on that plosive P. Select that piece of audio by holding Control and dragging with the right mouse button. Now right-click and go to Spectral Edits and select Add Spectral Edit to Item. Ta-da! This box in the spectrogram with all the knobs on it is your spectral editor. These knobs do a whole bunch of stuff like compression and gate and fades, but you only need to worry about this top one here. This is the gain knob for the frequencies inside the box. To change these low frequencies down here, you just need to resize the box so that it only covers the frequencies you want to change. And you can do that by dragging the top edge down like this. Now the spectral edit will only affect those low frequencies and nothing else. So hold that gain knob and drag it down to somewhere around -6 dB. That should do. Let's have a listen. From the Pilsen region. From the Pilsen region. Awesome. Sounding good. Zoom out to the whole project with Control plus page down, and let's continue listening. The University's Research Technology Centre is developing completely new applications for contactless thermal imaging measurement. Yeah, there's a bit of a gap in the sentence here that I'd like to correct. So let's zoom in with the mouse wheel and select the Razor Edit tool for this one. Select the audio you want to remove and hit Delete. But that just leaves a big fat mind the gap. What we need here is ripple editing. So hit Ctrl plus Z to put that back, and we'll go over to the toolbar and select Ripple Editing, which means that when you change one item, all the other items after it change accordingly. So now, when I delete that section, all the audio after it shifts back to fill the gap. Turn off Razor Editing, and let's have a listen. Completely new applications for contactless thermal imaging measurement. Cool. That sounds like a normal sentence now. Let's listen on. And not only for industry, sophisticated computers that are built into medical devices are saving people's lives. And that breath there is a bit noisy. So I want to bring it down a bit. I could use Razor Editing here, but I find this a little easier. You just select that section, hit Control and drag with the right mouse button, then hit Shift plus S to split that whole section. You may have noticed that every audio item has its own little volume knob at the top. If you can't see that volume knob, go here to turn it on. So to bring down that section, grab the volume knob and pull it down to somewhere around -3 dB should do it. Nice. Now let's just go to the end and trim that and give it a listen through. Manufacturing and aviation. That noisy breath is still annoying me, so I'll bring it down to about -6 dB. And that breath before it is bugging me now, so we'll give it the same treatment. This is the problem, you see. The more you listen, the more imperfections you hear. And because you're an audio engineer listening on headphones, you hear every tiny detail. Normal people probably wouldn't even notice most of the noises you hear. But who wants to be normal, eh? Right, shall we get it ready to render? Select the first item, hold Shift, and select the last item, and that will select everything. Then right-click somewhere in there and go to Group and select Group Items. Or you can just hit keyboard shortcut G. And now they're all stuck together like one big happy audio family. Nice. The last thing to do is to create a region around it. To do that, you just select the group and hit the custom action keyboard we created in the last video. Remember what it was and what it does? If you don't, check out this video. So you just hit R and you have a region. I'm going to call it My Corporate Voiceover. I don't need to give it a color because it's the only one I've got. And hit OK. And there you have it, all edited and ready to render. We'll go through rendering in the next video, but there's still that burning question. Do you have to edit at all? Well, let's look back at what we've done. We trimmed at the start. Then there was that loud plosive noise we fixed with the spectral edit. We cut that gap in that sentence with a razor edit. We used the volume knob to reduce a couple of noisy breaths, and then we trimmed the end. And let's be honest, we only really needed to trim the ends, because the rest of that editing could have been avoided completely with a better performance. And that is the point. Yes, sometimes you really do need to edit. You're only human, you make mistakes, and you can edit them out. But most of the time, a good setup, good gain staging, and a good performance will almost completely negate the need for editing. So you do need to know all these techniques, but you also need to know how to nail it on the mic. Remember, don't fix it in post, fix it in pre. But to help you fix it in post, if you have to, I've created a PDF cheat sheet of everything we've covered in this video, which you can download for free from the link in the description. And if you've enjoyed this video, it would be awesome if you could show the algorithm some love and hit the like button. And while you're at it, please consider subscribing for more tips and tricks on recording for VoiceOver in Reaper and other VoiceOver shenanigans. Oh, and YouTube thinks you might like this video.